Hey guys, it's Kevin. Today we're going to go over how to print with your converted ET-8550 DTF printer. I'll show you how to start a job, how to print, how to do the color rotation, and how to properly shut it down. You'll start your printer like this. Your white dampers is out on the holding place, and two of your maintenance damper is inside the printer. First, we're going to put two white dampers in, take the maintenance dampers out. Then we're going to fill the printhead with white ink. Okay, now there are two holding dampers on the left, those two. And we're going to take those two out. And we're going to take two color DTF dampers to the left. Take the position of the two holding them. Then we put the two white dampers on the slot that where the two color damper used to be. And then we put the maintenance damper into the holder. Now we take a syringe and put it in the tube that we mark as the priming tube. And we're going to draw to 10 millimeters, and we're going to watch the ink fill up to about 6. Fill up 4, so the mark is 6. And be patient. You're going to see it start slowly, just suddenly like this, it rush to 6, and then we can stop. And we put the priming tube back. We do cleaning through the printer's control panel. This is converted from a used printer. The printhead is a salvage printhead, so don't scream if you see a non-perfect nozzle check, okay? It got imperfect black, cyan, but two whites, perfect. And yellow is perfect, magenta got a couple missing pixels. I always tell people, don't worry if you do not have a perfect printhead. You don't need a perfect printhead. Say your printer uses half the printhead. When your printer prints, it prints the color first, then it uses the white to cover it up. So each column of the color get separated into two. So look at the lower half of the nozzle check. You get almost perfect across all colors. Those are all the color dampers going to use. You get 6 colors. You're going to use 4 colors, so you get 2 extra slots you can swap for color. Now look at the top of the nozzle check. Those 6 channels, 2 of the channels are bad, and 4 of the channels are good. And why use 2 channels? So you get 4 channels you can choose from. So don't let the nozzle check to let you decide you want to print or not. You want to print a real image, see how well it prints. All right, let me show you how to create your own color checker or white ink checker. You're going to use this every time you start a job. I'm going to use Acurip. If you guys really want to use Calink, I can also make another video show you how to use Calink. I'm not endorsing either one. They both sucks. They both suck donkey dick. That's how suck they are. Yeah, my friend is writing his own RIP software, and after he's done, they're going to blow those off water. The only reason I like to use the Acurip is everything is right here, right in front of you, rather than the Calink, which you have to know where to click and which open a secret window. And in the secret window, then there's a secret word. You click on that word and open another window. Here is the file menu. And you can open a file. And if you already open the file, you can add the image to it. You can reload the image. You can delete the image. You can close the image. You can close all the image. And you can set up your margin. And click here. The important thing is here. I like to use a millimeter. Okay, if you guys use inch or cm, that's your problem. Not your problem. It's your preference. But I use it because it makes sense. And the printer spool, I show you what's called printing. Okay, here you can just cancel all documents. And you can do a nozzle check. Actually, nozzle check doesn't work for ET-8550, so forget about that. And you can do a head cleaning. You can do a printout size revision and dry mode. Those two I'm going to cover later, and you can print. All right, the chances are you're not going to touch that file menu at all because all your control is on your right-hand side. Okay, let me just go over this. And all those, you put it on the left top, you put on the right top, by rotations, the mirror is right here. Okay, it's right here. So the edit button, I never use it. Okay. And then you can view with the grid, show grid lines, and lock grid lines. And then you can create templates. I never use this. Okay. And then there's help about the product. Okay. That's all it is. And then let's focus on those tabs. Okay. Most likely you'll be working on here. Let me just start with the white. For the white, you're going to select 100% white under any colored pixel. You can explore like fill all the area, fill all the image, no matter what it is, fill all of them with white. It just doesn't make sense, okay? So you're going to select 100% white under any colored pixel. And those two, and it really doesn't matter, just leave it as. And black handling, it depends. Some people, they do not let the printer print the black because they're going to be transferred to the black shirts. You may want to just remove the black ink. And if the black is 100% black, say this. So if it's purely black, then black is not pure 100%. However, if I set the threshold be 99%, okay. See, it doesn't print the black anymore. And it doesn't print the white at all. So we'll transform a shirt. You'll see the black on the shirt, rather you're using your own black ink. And just, it depends. It depends on your design, okay? And you can view as get a black shirt. If you transfer to a preview black shirt, this will look like, okay? And you can show the color, okay? And you can see on the white coverage. For example, let me just give one example. For this one, so this is all the white ink is going to put on. So if I switch to fill all area, say I fill all the square, so you understand this, okay? And the white ink curve, so preview, and you can set what your t-shirt color is. For example, I'm printing on this. So your preview will be in that color, okay? I usually put it on black. So far, so good. All right. You've seen people print the DTF, but when transfer, you get a white border. Because your white ink is printed right on the border, and then you have a little bit of tiny white outside, okay? So if you want to prevent this, you can shrink the white to be like 2 pixels inward. So it doesn't print right on the edge, it shrink a little bit, so you only see color on the edge, except white only. So if you click on this, it'll only shrink on the color side, but if you also outline is white, it doesn't shrink, all right? That's all it is. Color, this is the preference profile. And we're going to set up the color sequence on the printer. For example, today, I just set it. 2 whites is here. I want to be first one be black, second one be yellow, and white, and C, and M. This is based on my color rotation. I'm going to talk about color rotation pretty soon. Before I click OK, I have to click Save. I click Save. I click OK. If I just click OK, it doesn't save. So for today, I want to save this, and I'll just call it Boost. Okay, give a name. So for example, I change other designs. I can just click drop down Boost. Hey, give me this color sequence and this ink. I often use 30% for the color. And when you do the first print on ET-8550, set to 50% white ink. And gradually the white gonna dry. And I'll tell you why. Okay, your white gradually gonna dry across the day. And then you can set it up to 100%. So if 100% is still dry and you do a cleaning, then you set it back to 50%. ICC profile, those, okay, another day. Printer and the layout, those two, the top panel, they're the same because sometimes when you print, you still want to control the graphic. Let me just go over it right now. So you want the picture be left, picture be line up on the right, pick vertical center, horizontal center, or absolute center. and you want to rotate, and you want the mirror. Of course, for me, I like to see the mirror, so I can absolutely sure that I'm printing a mirror. Another mirror is here. If you go to print, you can select this mirror and this NAND mirror, because sometimes you forget select it. So for me, I select here, and then I do select on the print mirror. So now printer port is your printer. You select your printer here. This is which USB port you bind to your printer. Okay. So for example, your printer is on USB 41, you select USB 41. Okay. And the top set printer is not your printer. Okay. It is what printer profile you're going to use. You're going to select ET-8550. If you subscribe to my membership on YouTube, maybe someday I'll tell you how to use a better profile than ET-8550, but still print on ET-8550. Okay? So check paper size is the control the PW sensor. We don't want it on, so this always be off. Media is always premium glossy. And here we need to talk, okay? So what is the white and the color DPI? Suppose this is the print out from your printer. Okay, DPI is dot per inch. And the first number is how precise you want the DPI when printer go left and right. So for example, if you do 720, so when it prints, I use a smaller and it controls how many dots per inch when it prints like this. Okay. The higher number, it will be more precise this direction. All right. So the second number controls how precise it goes this direction. So this is the paper feed direction. For example, if you have a clock nozzle, the clock nozzle is in this direction. Okay. And if you have a smaller number here, it is not going to hide this nozzle. So you want to turn this second number high. Okay. And so for production, you always keep this one be 1440. Okay. Now your question is, should I turn this to 1440? The first number. Yes, you can. But guess what? It's going to move slowly, print left and right. Okay, that's the first thing. Second thing is give more stress on the printhead. Weird out printhead more. So you keep this 720 until you cannot hide the horizontal lines anymore. And then you switch to 1440 and kick the last bit of life of your printhead. We call 720 by or 1440 be the production setting. Another advantage when you put this 1440 is it prints more precisely. It makes the little details show. So if sometime in your production you cannot get something really fine to show, turn this to 1440. Just make sure this number always keep 1440. Feed, we're going to feed from rear tree. Directions, sometimes you see on the edge, so the color is like a print like this. Then you might get like a white. Click a little bit over, or you print a line, and the line printer has two lines. Okay, this is because your printer print on this direction. And then we go back, also print on this direction. This is called a bidirection. Your printer has a bidirection adjustment. It helps you adjust those two lines into one line, at least close together. So don't be freaked out, okay? If yours has to be lined up perfectly, you can turn this bidirection to be a unit direction. You can only print the right to left or left to right, up to you, it doesn't matter. But this is going to fix that. And of course, you're going to be slower because only print one direction. Wave, and you want to turn that on. That's like a feather function to help better hide the imperfection. Okay. And the color dot, that means we talk about DPI. That means when you print, are you going to use a mixed larger and medium and smaller droplets, or use only big droplets? So for white, you want to use only the large droplets. It covers better, look more smooth. All right, this is all the sections normally I use. Okay, so we move to layout. The paper size doesn't matter. It just helps you to show how big it is. For example, if I move to 100, so it's how much you'll see it. Right. And the real adjustment is this printout size revision is here. Okay. So this doesn't matter. Just keep it so you can see the multiple pictures. So this is the how far from your right, okay, because you're going to print from right to the left. So for example, set to 0. The nozzle going to print right away when you're out of the cabin station. You don't really want to be on the edge. Some ink going to be on the edge, and then it accumulates, then it's going to smudge it. So normally, I try to be 15. Okay, this is one picture. So I mirror it, just a habit. Okay, when I see it, I mirror it right away. And from the X, I want to be 15. I question myself, maybe it's be too wide for t-shirt because the limit is 300 millimeters horizontally. So I usually set this to be 28.5 because I want to print a 285. 285 plus 15 is 300. So I can know how wide 285 will look like. Repeat is how many times you're going to repeat on the x-axis. Okay. So if I repeat it 10 times, it's going to repeat this image 10 times. So y is how many times you're going to repeat on the y-axis. This is how many millimeter space you're going to give between each image. For example, I get 20, see, and it's going to put a gap there. So I want to be 0 because I want to measure 285. So when you're ready, you can just click print right here, or you can go to File and print. If you print the color, make sure the first and the second check marks are checked. If you print only white, so none of them checked. So because we print the color, and we get both of them checked, and we hit print. See, although the cyan nozzle check look horrible, the cyan print perfectly. First, we pay attention to how the color comes out. And if we have horizontal lines, see, it's perfect. No horizontal lines. That means 720 versus DPI is perfect. 4 colors come out right. Then we see the white ink coverage. Is it thick enough? Thirdly, we check the margin. We start at 15, and it's right on the edge. And then the width is 285. And see, on the left side, we get more room. So maybe we can print a 290, or maybe we can print like 295. So we can print a little bit wider t-shirts. See, one pattern check everything for you. We check the thickness of white. It's perfect. There should be no problem with this printer. No lines. And now we can put this printer into production and just print. I usually do a cleaning from the LCD panel. I usually do one cleaning every 6 prints. The reason is, remember you only use half of the nozzle. The other half just idle there, exposed to the air when you print. So that's why you want to do an intermediate cleaning. By the way, this printer has been idle for a week. And this is the first print after a week. Do not do daily maintenance. You don't need to do daily maintenance with this setup. The daily maintenance is for other printers. Because you spend your time to the conversion and you don't do daily maintenance, also you put those board in, those boards let you not have a false paper jam, and even more, it can print the last inch of the paper. See, regular people will tell you, here you have to put a piece of tape behind the film, and then you stack another film in the back of this one just to push it forward. No, those are already overridden by this board. So you just load your film, just like a stack of paper, put a stack of film there, and you're ready to print. And watch the last of the print. Here, the PE sensor already says that the end of the paper reached. However, the PE sensor is overridden by the electronic driver board, and it tells the printer keep printing and push the last bit out. Why spend that much time and money to the conversion? And this is why. Now we're going to shut down the job, not the printer, shut down the job. We're going to take out the white damper. However, for the damper to replace the white damper, we're not going to put the maintenance on the white damper. We're going to put the color damper into the white damper position, and then we'll put the maintenance dampers on those two newly opened color damper plates. So we move those two dampers to the left, and then we take the maintenance damper and we pull down those two color dampers old place. The reason for this, you want the change to be gradual. You want to move the most closer viscosity ink together. So the white is more closer to the color, and the color is more closer to the maintenance. By the way, I do this when I shut down the printer, but however, in production, I always do this when the printer is on, so I can do the priming. It's just like how we started. I put a syringe in the priming tube. I draw 4 ml of ink out of it, and then I do a printer cleaning from the LCD panel. After I did the priming, I'm going to shut the printer down. I'll unplug the power. Believe it or not, it's better to unplug it with the printer on than turn it on and then unplug it. Anyway, hold the printer carriage to your right, push it to the right, then pull that yellow belt towards you a couple times. Your printer will be free. Now, put a piece of paper towel underneath the printhead, and we're going to do a shoe shine. During the cleaning, there will be lots of ink splash to the bottom of this printhead carriage, so you want to remove those inks. You don't need to be really aggressive, and just do it a couple times. That should be enough. Then we turn on the TMS that we installed, and we fill the capping station. You can see the water accumulates here. We're going to pinch the priming tube. When we pinch the priming tube, the water gets sucked into the waste tank. So we keep doing this until the water comes out clean. Then we fill up the capping station as much as we can and move the printhead on top of it, and then we connect to the power and turn it on. Don't leave until the printer is on and park at the capping station. Then you can just leave it like this for weeks and weeks. I don't want to say forever, then people come up after 2 years, but it's almost like forever, so you don't have to take care of it. Just after you coming back from a really long vacation, take a look of the white damper. If you see the white ink separated, just draw the old white ink out of the dampers. Don't worry about tubes, because your tubes are automatically circulated. Only thing you need to worry is a damper after you come back from a really long trip. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video. Visit us at bchtechnologies.com or locally at Greensboro, North Carolina. Cheers!